Look closely at these two watches. On the left, a genuine Rolex Submariner. Retail price, $15,000. On the right, a replica bought for $500. Can you see the difference? Neither can I. The weight is identical to the gram. The ceramic bezel clicks exactly the same. Even under a jeweler's loupe, the laser etching on the sapphire crystal is perfect. You are looking at a super clone. The era of cheap plastic knockoffs sold in back alleys is over. We have entered the age of the ghost good. These are counterfeits so precise they are infiltrating legitimate boutiques, fooling expert authenticators, and destroying the very concept of luxury. The watch on your wrist might be a fake, and you wouldn't even know it. Welcome to the $500 billion economy of lies. To understand how we got here, we have to leave the streets and enter the laboratory. Deep in the industrial districts of Guangzhou, there are factories that look more like NASA clean rooms than criminal workshops. The syndicates running these operations are not guessing, they are reverse engineering. When a new Omega or Patek Philippe is released, they buy the original on day one. They don't just copy it, they dissect it. They use industrial 3D scanners to map every curve, every screw, every gear to the micron. They program CNC machines, often the exact same German-made machines used by the Swiss brands, to mill the parts. They have access to the same steel, the same sapphire glass. Sometimes through back doors in the supply chain, they even get their hands on the original blueprints. This isn't theft, it is industrialized mirroring. They aren't trying to make a Rolex that looks like a Rolex. They are building a Rolex, just without the permission. This precision has birthed a nightmare scenario for collectors. It is called the Frankenstein. Imagine a watch. The case is genuine steel, the dial is authentic, the hands are real gold, but deep inside, the movement is a clone. Or worse, the movement is real, but the case is a fake. Scammers are now mixing real and counterfeit parts to build hybrid monsters. These watches pass visual inspection, they pass the weight test, they even pass a quick look by a service technician. You could wear a Frankenstein watch for 10 years, take it for servicing, and only then discover that half of your investment is worthless. The line between real and fake hasn't just blurred, it has vanished. And this contamination is spreading faster than the market can detect it. The deception isn't limited to cold steel and gears. It extends to the organic world of leather. Take the Hermès Birkin, the most exclusive bag in history. Retail price, $20,000. Waitlist, 5 years. The superfake factories laughed at this waitlist. They went straight to the source. Hermès buys their leather from specific tanneries in France and Italy. The counterfeiters found these suppliers. They offered to pay double for the B-grade hides, leather that was rejected for microscopic imperfections. Then they hired the talent. There are rumors of retired Hermès artisans or workers poached from the official assembly lines, now working in secret workshops in Dongguan. They use the same saddle stitch technique. They use the same beeswax thread. The result is a bag made of the same skin, sewn by the same hands, using the same thread. The only difference is that one was made in a glass atelier in Paris, France, and the other in a basement in China. Chemically, they are twins. But the fraud doesn't stop at manufacturing. It has weaponized the retail experience itself. We call it the Great Switch. Here's how it works. A customer walks into a high-end boutique in Paris or New York. They buy a genuine Louis Vuitton bag or a Cartier bracelet. They pay full price. They take the receipt. 24 hours later, they return to the store. They say they changed their minds. They return the item in the box, get their refund, and walk away. But the item in the box is now a super fake. The staff, trained to be polite and trusting, checks it quickly. It looks perfect. It smells like leather. It has the right serial number. They put it back on the shelf. The next customer, maybe you, walks in and buys it. You pay $3,000 for a fake sold to you by the official store. This is happening right now. Major luxury resale platforms have admitted that superfakes have slipped through their authentication teams. Trust is no longer a guarantee, it is just a probability. So, how do you find these phantom goods? You don't go to the dark web, you go to Reddit, you go to Discord. There's a massive, open digital underground where buyers obsess over quality. They don't call them fakes, they call them reps. They discuss batches of sneakers like sommeliers discuss wine. They know which factory in China makes the best stitching for Gucci and which one has the best leather for Hermes. Middlemen agents facilitate the trade. You order through a third-party warehouse. They send you QC, quality check photos. If a single stitch is crooked, you reject it. The standards here are sometimes higher than in the real factories. But shipping illegal goods across borders is risky. Customs agents are not stupid. They know that a package labeled phone cables coming from Guangzhou is suspicious. So the syndicates developed a countermove. It is called triangle shipping. Here's the play. You're in New York. You order a fake Rolex. The factory in China does not ship it to you. Instead, it ships it to a safe house in a low-risk country like the Netherlands or Germany. In a warehouse outside Frankfurt, a middleman receives the package. He throws away the Chinese shipping labels. He repackages the watch into a generic box. He applies a new label. Now the package looks like it's coming from within the European Union. When it arrives at U.S. Customs, it isn't flagged. It looks like a domestic shipment from an ally. It breezes through. The tracking number changes twice. The paper trail is broken. By the time the watch reaches your wrist, it has washed its origin completely clean. But before you click buy, ask yourself, where does the money go? It doesn't go to a struggling artisan. The superfake empire is a $500 billion beast. It's larger than the global drug trade. Intelligence agencies have confirmed that the syndicates running these factories are the same groups involved in human trafficking, arms dealing, and large-scale money laundering. That $500 watch on your wrist is a receipt for a donation to organized crime. It finances the shipment of fentanyl. It funds cyber warfare groups. The counterfeit trade is the ATM of the underworld. It's a low-risk, high-reward engine that keeps the wheels of global crime turning. You aren't just buying a logo, you are buying a share in their operations. So, this brings us to the final question. If a fake is mechanically identical to the original, if it tells time just as well, and if no one can tell the difference, then what exactly are we paying for? Are we paying for the history? For the marketing? Or are we paying for the feeling of superiority? The superfake empire hasn't just stolen designs, it has exposed a crack in the foundation of capitalism. It has proven that luxury is largely an illusion. In a world where anyone can look like a millionaire for $500, the status symbol is dead. The only thing left is the reality of who you are when you take the watch off. I'm Alex. This is Hidden Works.